Welcome to SoulRise, the home of stories that awaken your soul and remind you what's truly possible. He had nothing. No money, no power, no path, but he had belief. And that belief changed everything. Here is the story of a boy who refused to give up. In a small, dusty village, far from the lights of the city, lived a skinny 13-year-old boy named Ishan. His house was a one-room shack with no electricity, no running water, and holes in the roof that leaked every time it rained. His father was a broken man, jobless, often drunk, and his mother worked long hours cleaning houses just to bring home a little rice and bread. Every day was survival. Ishan was poor, yes, but he was something else too brilliant. He didn't have books, so he read old newspapers from the garbage. He didn't have a smartphone, so he really listened to every word anyone said. He didn't go to a good school, but he asked questions. So many questions that even the teachers were stunned. He had no tutor, no computer, not even a desk. But Ishan had something the world couldn't measure: hunger to learn. Every night, after helping his mother with chores, Ishan would sit under a street lamp. It was the only light he had. With a torn notebook and a borrowed pencil, he taught himself math, English, and even science. He drew rockets in the dirt, imagined the stars above were whispering secrets, and whispered back, "One day, I'll reach you." Kids in the village laughed at him. "You? Build rockets? First buy shoes. You can't even speak English properly." But Ishan didn't care. He believed in something they couldn't see. He believed in himself. Years passed. At age 15, Ishan entered a district science fair. Everyone else came with models and gadgets. Ishan came with an idea, a paper rocket powered by homemade fuel. People laughed. Judges ignored him. But one man, a retired scientist, saw Ishan's spark. "You made this from scratch?" the old man asked. "Yes, sir. I used sugar, potassium nitrate, and clay from the riverbed." The man's eyes widened. He took Ishan under his wing, taught him formulas, gave him books, lent him an old laptop with broken keys. That was Ishan's first break. But life wasn't easy. Just when things seemed to get better, his mother fell ill. The doctor's bill was more than they had seen in a year. Ishan had a choice: quit studying and work full-time, or fight. He did both. He worked in a mechanic shop from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m., then studied under the streetlight from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. He slept only 3 to 4 hours a night. People said he was crazy. But crazy is what built miracles. At 17, Ishan applied for a national scholarship program that chose only 50 students out of 1 million. Most kids had elite schools, coaching centers, and money behind them. Ishan had grit. He walked 20 kilometers to the test center, wore the same shirt he wore for 3 years, used a broken pen, but he passed. Not just passed, ranked number 3 in the country. Suddenly, doors opened. He was invited to the capital city for further studies. His story spread. Village boy cracks genius test. A news channel interviewed him. In broken English, he said, "I didn't know what impossible means. I only knew how to try again." Those words touched millions. A nonprofit gave him a full scholarship. He studied aerospace engineering, built actual rockets, learned programming, and taught himself fluent English by reading out loud from newspapers and TED Talks. At 21, he presented a low-cost rocket design to a national space agency. The design was so effective, it shocked senior scientists. He was offered a research internship in Germany. From village dust to European labs, from no shoes to world stage, from mocked to mentored by NASA scientists. Now, years later, Ishan is not just an engineer. He is a global inspiration. He speaks on international stages in perfect English. He runs a program that sends free science kits to poor students. He funds village libraries. And his old street lamp? It now has a plaque that says, "Where a dreamer once studied." Let this light never go out. So if you're out there, feeling broken, if you think life is unfair, if you think your background is too poor, your English is too weak, your chances too small, remember Ishan. He had nothing, but he refused to give up and changed his life forever. Thanks for watching. Stay strong and always believe